fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo silver. The Lone Ranger.
Dad got the fever a couple weeks before the war ended. Mom caught it from him.
No wonder they died. Being sick and having to live in a barn.
Wasn't much left of the house. There was a lot of fighting around it. After Yankees moved on, Daddy and I tried to fix it up. He took sick before we more than even got started.
Destroy everything in their path. That's what they do everywhere.
Well, it wasn't really all their fault.
How can you say that? With your mother and your father laying in their graves because of them.
I can understand how you feel.
I'm sorry, Jeff. It wasn't your fault.
Hasn't been a very happy homecoming for you.
We'll make out. We'll get the farm going again, and I'll buy it.
Brad, there's something maybe I should have told you.
Told me what?
It's about the farm.
What about it?
Well, during the war, Daddy couldn't keep up the payments. A couple of weeks ago, a Northerner came along and bought up the mortgage from Mr. Stevens.
So now a Yankee owns our place.
Mr. Stevens said he was sorry about having to sell to a Northerner, but he needed the money. I guess the Yankee's the only one that got any cash now. A couple of days ago, I got this. Says I got to be off the farm by the end of the month.
What they don't destroy, they take.
We could get jobs and maybe buy it back.
Yeah, with everyone looking for work. Jeff, how'd you like to go out west? There's no reason for us to stay here now. We couldn't be any worse off.
Well, sure, Brad, sure. Anything you say.
Fine. We'll start first thing in the morning. Come on.
Yeah, come here.
They don't need any help either.
It's as hard to find work out here as it was back home.
Yeah, and you meet as many Yankees. Here's the water for the coffee.
We're all out of coffee.
Beans again, huh?
Enjoy 'em while you can. It's the last of them. We're about out of everything else, too.
Yeah, not to mention money.
Well, maybe we'll get work in the next town.
Yeah, especially with the kind of luck we've been having. Wonder what's ailing them. Oh, easy, boy, easy. What's the matter?
What's the matter, Brad?
Rattler.
Brad, the horse! Whoa! Get it! Yeah.
Look, Kemo Sabe. Runaway horse. Come on. Easy, boy. Easy. Steady, boy. Steady, boy. Easy. Ooh, fella.
Kemo Sabe, me hear another horse.
Thanks for stopping my horse. I guess between the snake and the shot I fired, he was plenty scared. You're masked.
I wouldn't reach for that gun.
You're in for a disappointment. My brother and I haven't got anything worth stealing.
I'm not a bandit, and I have no intention of robbing you.
That's strange talk coming from a man who uses a mask to cover his face. I wouldn't really blame you if you were an outlaw.
Oh? I see by your hat you were in the Confederate Army.
I served with Early and Jackson.
Both brave soldiers and fine gentlemen.
Are you a Southerner?
No.
You must be a Yankee.
I like to think of myself as an American who believes in the future of our country, with its people living and working together.
You're an idealist, a dreamer.
Perhaps, but I don't think so.
Well, I do. And if you're not going to rob me, I'll be on my way. Thanks again for stopping my horse.
Glad to be of help. Adios. So young and already so cynical. Town of war can cause such bitterness.
People who never forget differences never learn to be happy.
They could only realize they must forget the past and think of the future and the good it has to offer.
You mean like Sheriff Maxwell? Him lose son in war, but him not better.
That's right, Tonto.
We go to see him now?
Well, I think we'd better wait till it gets dark.
There you are, Sheriff. Thanks, Fred.
I got your loan papers all made out over there on the desk.
Well, fine. Where's your nephew?
Ben? I sent him down to the Wells Fargo office, see if any mail came in on the afternoon stage. Good afternoon. I'll be with you in a minute.
Go ahead and take care of him. I got plenty of time.
Well, boys, what can I do for you?
We'd like to see somebody about a loan.
Well, I'm the man you see.
How much can you give us for this watch?
Oh, I'm sorry, but the bank doesn't loan money on that kind of collateral.
It's solid gold. It was our father's.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you want to sell it, I'll give you $10 for it.
But it's not for sale.
I'll buy it for $10. Take it or leave it.
I said it's not for sale.
Take it easy, lad. What's the matter? You kind of down on your luck?
We'd be all right if we could just get a couple jobs.
Well, jobs are a little scarce around here.
So we've been finding out. What's the matter? Everyone afraid to have a couple of Southerners around?
Oh, I don't think it's anything like that at all, son. This is a big new country. There's a place in it for everyone.
Sure, a place for everyone. Providing you're not from the South.
Suppose we forget about the war in the past, huh?
Sure, why not? What have you lost? Let's get out of here, Jeff.
Some of those young firebrands are still going around with chips on their shoulders. I'd better keep an eye on them until they get out of town. I'll be back later to look over those papers.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Well, hello, Ben.
Hello, Sheriff.
Something wrong?
No, of course not.
I'll see you both later.
Right. What's the matter with you? You look like you'd seen a ghost.
This letter just came in on the stage. It's from the War Department.
War Department, huh?
What's it say? What's it say, Uncle Fred?
Well, give me a chance to read it, will you? Well, it seems that Pinkerton detectives have been investigating the activities of Southern sympathizers during the war. Someone told them about us having that strongbox in the safe there. They're sending an officer down from Fort Brennan to pick it up.
I knew you shouldn't have kept it from them. I told you it was dangerous. They'll have us arrested.
Oh, stop whimpering, will you? They paid us well to look after it, didn't they? All they want back is a strongbox. They're not going to arrest us. Now pull yourself together.
Yeah.
Does seem a shame, though, to turn all that gold and jewelry over to them.
But how did you know it was in the box? The box was locked when we got it.
A lock can be forced, can't it? There must be a way. There must be a way.
A way for what?
For us to keep all the stuff that's in that strongbox for ourselves, of course. I'll handle this. Hello, Mr. Davis. Well, it's been a long time, sir.
Yes, are we alone?
Oh, yes, just the three of us. Won't you sit down?
I've come for the strongbox I left in your care. I've heard that the government may have learned about it, and if they have, they'll confiscate it.
Yeah, that's true. They will.
You know what is in it?
Well, let us say that I suspected gold collected by Southern sympathizers to be used in advancing the cause of the Confederacy. Am I not right, sir?
But now that the war is over, and since it was never used for the purpose intended, I'd like to return it. I have a buggy outside, and I can take the strongbox right now.
Well, I'm sorry, sir, but doesn't happen to be in the bank at the moment.
No?
No, you see, I was thinking of your interest in hiding it somewhere else, but I can have it for you in the morning.
I'll stay at a hotel down the street.
Good. Until tomorrow, then, Mr. Davis.
Good day, and
Good day, sir.
And thank you.
What do we do now? The letter says you're responsible for that strongbox. If you don't turn it over to the officer when he arrives, they'll put us in jail.
Suppose I no longer had the strong box. Suppose I said that I was held up and robbed.
But who'd believe a story like that?
I think it can be arranged.
How?
When you were down at the Wells Fargo office, you see those two young fellas that came out of the bank? One of them was wearing a Confederate hat.
Yeah, they rode out of town.
Oh? Which way'd they go?
North. Why?
I'll explain later. Right now, I'm going to have a little patriotic talk with a couple of Southerners. You watch the bank.
Yes, sir.
Hey, stop! Wait a minute! I don't know when I've had such a hard ride.
Well, you're the man from the bank.
That's right. I wonder if I could have a little talk with you boys.
Why not?
All right. You've been finding the going a little difficult lately, haven't you?
We'll get along. We're not asking for any charity.
That's the spirit I like from Southerners. When we first met, I guess you didn't suspect that my sympathies were with the South.
Why, should I have?
It would have been pretty bad if you had. Here's a letter I'd like both of you to read. You were in uniform and fought one way. I fought another.
And we both lost.
Defeat is only permanent when you lose hope. There's some of us who haven't lost hope. Many of us believe that the Confederacy can be reestablished, but we need money. You two can be the means of securing those much-needed funds.
How can we do that?
Well, I want you to rob me. I want you to rob me and take the contents of the strongbox mentioned in this letter to the men who are planning on reestablishing the Confederacy.
We couldn't do anything like that.
Why not?
Because it'd make us thieves, and we're not.
A man is a thief only when he takes something that doesn't belong to him. The contents of this strongbox was collected by Southerners, to be used by Southerners as they saw fit.
You can count on my help. How about you, Jeff?
All right, Brad. Sure.
Good. Now, here's what I want you to do. Tonight after dark, you come to the bank. Come to the rear door.
Are you sure we can trust those two Southerners?
I'm a good judge of character. I know they can be trusted. The older one sure swallowed the story I gave him. He thinks that what he's doing is for the glory of the Confederacy.
I still think we're taking an awful chance.
Well, come on, Ben. Give me a hand with this, will you? Grab that hand. There you are. There you are, Ben. Isn't that worth committing murder for? That may be them. That's them. Come on in, boys. Hurry it up. This is my nephew, Ben.
Howdy.
Here, I'll show you what I want you to take. Gold, given by men who were too old to wear a uniform or carry a gun. Jewelry and rings from the fingers of wives, mothers, and widows.
I've heard of people making such sacrifices.
Well, there you are. You can see for yourself the story is true.
May I ask you a question?
Of course.
Why do we have to pretend to be robbing you?
Don't you remember what I showed you in that letter? The authorities know that I'm responsible for this strongbox. How am I going to be in a position to collect further funds unless there's a good excuse for this strongbox disappearing? The robbery will do that. Ben, you better put all this stuff in a couple of money bags. It'll be easier to carry it. Boys, here's how I want the robbery worked out. After tying us up, you'll go to this abandoned mine. Now, I've drawn it out here on the map for you so you won't have any trouble finding it. There, you'll meet a man who'll take you to our leader's headquarters.
Well, that seems simple enough.
Oh, of course, you won't have any trouble. Well, now you can start tying us up.
Here are the ropes.
Is that all right?
Oh.
Come in. Come in. Why can't folks use the front door? Just a minute, I'm coming. Oh, come in, come in.
Sheriff Maxwell, nice to see you again. Well, I hope we're not disturbing you.
Not at all, not at all. Sit down, sit down.
Thank you.
It's been a long time.
Yes, it has. We heard you lost your son. He was a fine young man.
Yes, no one knows that any better than I do. But I wasn't the only father to lose his son during the war.
No bitterness?
At first, a great deal, but a man can't live in bitterness all his life.
Unfortunately, not everyone is so willing to forgive and forget the past.
You thinking of young feller we meet on trail today?
Yes, Tonto, I was. With as much bitterness as that young fellow had in his heart, he could get into a great deal of trouble.
The bank. Stay back, everybody. Stay back or you won't get hurt.
We've been robbed. They went out the back door.
What happened?
Remember those two Southerners that were in the bank this afternoon?
Yeah.
Well, they're the ones that did it. Mass.
All right, they're friends of mine.
Oh, well, Ben and I were working late. I heard a knock on the back door, and I went to the door, and they shoved a gun in my face. The safe happened to be standing open, and they took everything out of the strong box. Got all the jewelry and gold.
Did they get much of the bank's money?
No, fortunately none. The bank's funds are in that big safe over there. I guess they couldn't open it.
How long since he left?
Oh, it's about an hour ago.
It'll make it tough to pick up the trail.
The full moon tonight would make trail easier to follow.
Sheriff Tonto and I'd like to ride along with you.
Fine, glad to have you.
Let me get Silver and Scout, bring them round to the back door.
Good. Get my horse, too, would you?
They picked up the boy's trail.
What are we going to do?
We're going to do everything just as I planned. Are the horses saddled?
Yeah, I got the dynamite and rope in the saddlebags.
Good. We'll take the shortcut through Red Canyon. That'll get us to the mine ahead of the sheriff and that masked man. Come on. Hurry up.
Mr. Logan.
Yes? Oh, good evening, Mr. Davis. I'm afraid I've got some bad news for you. When we were held up just now, they took the entire contents of your strong box. If only I'd gotten it in the morning instead of tonight.
Don't blame yourself. You didn't know you were going to be held up.
Yes, that's true. Well, perhaps the sheriff will be able to get back what was lost.
I hope so, before the government takes action.
I hope so, too, Mr. Davis. Good night, sir.
Good night.
Well, he believes our little story.
Doesn't look like the man we're to meet is here yet. Put the horses behind those trees. No one here but us. Wouldn't take much to bring this whole tunnel down on us.
Come on, Ben, hurry it up.
I think I hear someone coming. Hello, we're down here. Well, I didn't expect you.
Well, there's been a change in plans. Ben, I think he's gone.
What's the meaning of this?
You'll find out soon enough. Turn around, both of you. Put your hands behind your backs.
Now we've lost their trail.
Somebody passed this way. Branch broken a short time ago. Trail go that way.
It's amazing to me how Tonto does it.
Tonto has trained himself to look for certain signs that we all see but fail to recognize.
Still amazing to me.
What are you going to do with us?
You're just going to disappear. The stuff you stole will be assumed to have disappeared with you.
Please, Uncle, hurry.
Yeah, it's done. There. That should give us time enough to get away. Come on, Ben, bring those bags. Horses.
Here's the sheriff. What do we do?
We'll hide over there. Come on.
Hey, look, horses. We better leave ours here.
It's the sheriff.
I see that. We'll be safe here till the dynamite's done its work.
There's a light up ahead. You better get out of here. This place is going to blow.
That was close. Who did this?
That man from the bank and his nephew.
That must mean Fred Logan, his nephew Ben.
The dynamite should have gone off by now.
We better get out of here. Come on.
With him making it look like he was held up and robbed, he could keep everything for himself.
And getting rid of you two, he'd been in the clear all the way around.
Tell him. We hear it, Kemo Sabe.
Come on. Hurry up, Ben. I hear them coming.
Cover him, Tonto.
No, down.
Well, get going.
We sure saw the spirit of cooperation work tonight. A northerner, a masked man, and an Indian. All risked their lives for two southerners.
Brad, I think the word Americans describe you better.
Speaking of the future, I'm buying a small farm, and I could use a couple of hired hands.
Well, we both used to work on a farm.
Good, you can start to work tomorrow.
What about the robbery?
Well, seeing as how Logan gave you the gold and you really didn't steal it,
I think the judge will be lenient. Well, Sheriff, Tonto and I must be riding out.
well, it's nice seeing you again.
Goodbye. Adios, boys.
What's that man's name?
I don't know his real name, son, but I do know that he believes in our country as one nation indivisible. He's the Lone Ranger.
Silver!